Hey creators, I'm Ian Corzine, your social media lawyer. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're talking about 10 no-nos, how to be one of the worst YouTubers ever. I'm just kidding about that title. But we're going to talk about 10 different no-nos that you should not do if you are a YouTuber, and I'm going to slant them toward the legal context. There's lots of discussions about what cameras to use and how to take different shots and do your scripts and all sorts of stuff. But I want to talk about the legal side of it. Before I begin, I want to talk to some people that are here today. Thanks so much for joining us. Exploring Israel, good to see you today. We got Waffle Plays, how are you? We got RC Recreation and Soren, welcome and good afternoon to all of you. Well, let's get right to it. Number 10, we're gonna go in reverse order. Number 10 is background copyright music. Be very sensitive if you are a YouTuber, you are a vlogger with background copyrighted music. A lot of times I have creator clients that come to me and they would like to do, vlogging and go outdoors and go to parks and go to various, social gathering places. But there's a lot of times there's copyrighted music playing in the background. And YouTube's AI is super duper sensitive. So if you do have background copyrighted music and you do not have permission to use that music, you are going to get a copyright claim or worse, potentially a copyright strike, which you don't want to do. So, what do you do in that situation? You got to stay away from copyrighted music. You got to go to, you got to go to places. What you can also use is a lavalier microphone, which will only capture generally your voice and not the surrounding audio. But those are some tips for, avoiding background copyrighted music so that you don't get demonetized and you don't have copyright claims or strikes on your videos. Hey, good afternoon, Bertie Lynn. Good to see you here. Josu Vigia is here. And Animated Christians, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. So we first started out talking about what you shouldn't do. And number 10 on that list is background copyrighted music. You should not have that in your videos. Otherwise, you might get a claim or you might get a copyright strike. Good things you can do is stay away from places that have copyrighted music playing in the background. And the other part, too, is to use equipment like lavalier microphones that only capture your voice and not the surrounding music. We got Content 4G with a question from last week's live stream. Isn't a reaction video a form of commentary covered by the fair use extension? That's a really, really good question, Content 4G, and I'm glad you brought it up. It's not under the letter of the law, reaction video. You could argue that it's commentary. However, if you have seen a lot of reaction videos on YouTube, you'll see that sometimes it's not auditory. It's literally someone's reaction, their facial reaction to a video. And at that point in time, it's hard to argue that it's fair use or commentary. I think it would be difficult. I've been before a lot of federal courts. I used to be a federal law clerk. And, if you're facing this fair use argument, you want to bring it forward. I think that judges are not going to give you a straight face when you try to say, listen, this reaction video where I'm smiling or I'm crying or I'm laughing, that is commentary. So while I'm very supportive of reaction being an exception to the fair use rule, or actually not exception, a component of the fair use rule or the fair dealing rule, I'm also cognizant about the fact that reaction is a broad topic area. And it wouldn't cover not just the situations where someone is saying something, like we looked at the video last week where we talked about the Gary twins, where they actually use their words to react to the videos. So I think that answer is no. Visual Stimulant says all of my videos, all 172, have music from Epidemic. Yeah, a lot of people use Epidemic. I use Epidemic. I think it's a good tool. One thing you got to remember is you got to look at the licensing closely and understand that if you ever failed to be a subscriber of Epidemic, I think you have a problem. I think I have a problem because I think that they still maintain a claim on that music. But there are other, apps and companies out there that will do music for your YouTube videos that don't have that same kind of licensing. So I want to say MusicBed is one of them, but I can give you a list of other ones too. I want to get straight to the 10 YouTube no-nos. We talked about number 10, which is background copyrighted music. Next one is reaction videos with no auditory reaction. I think Content 4G jumped in this topic before I even got to it, which is number 9 on our list of 10 no-nos is reaction videos with no auditory reaction. I think that it's great if you'd like to do reaction videos like we talked about last time. It's one of the top video types that's watched on YouTube, so you're going to get the views. The point of it is, though, is you need to try to fit into that commentary exception for YouTube. And one way to do that is to do some commentary. Say, I like this. I'm listening to this new Phil Collins song and I like it. I shouldn't say new, most of his songs are old, but I'm listening to a new song and I like it. Make some comments about it, how it was made. Maybe you can grade the way the instruments are played, that kind of stuff. That reaction would fit into commentary, and that would be a fair use, and would be a better choice for you to getting that video on YouTube, because YouTube does respect fair use. They do believe in commentary as fair use, and they do believe actually in reaction as fair use. So that would be a good choice. We have some more questions here. Let's see. Tap Channel's here. What's up, guys? How's it going out there? It's going good, Tap. I'm so glad you're joining us. We have here Nelvi asks, thank you, Ian, for the book about YouTube that you sent to my address email. I'm from Brazil. No problem. I'm happy to help out. I do have that ebook on copyright law for YouTubers. You can get it at my website for free if you'd like to go. It's iancorzine.com. That's iancorzine.com. All right. Tap Channel, Epidemic Sounds, Music Bed, Art List. Those websites you have to know if you're a creator. Yeah, exactly. That's true. Darren Knobs, welcome. You said, hi, Ian. Question, Leafy's is here, YouTube channel termination, community guidelines strike preview. I think you're referring to the Leafy scandal. Yeah, I have not delved deep into that scandal. I want to learn more before I start commenting on it. If you want to provide us with links, you certainly can. Gasha Galaxy 101, hi, good to see you. All right, so we've done our list. We're on our list of 10 no-nos for YouTubers as far as the legal parts of your YouTube channel go. And we talked about number 10 being background copyrighted music, number 9, reaction videos with no auditory reaction, and number 8 is using even a tiny snippet of copyrighted popular music. I have a creator client out there who had this awesome introduction to his YouTube channel. I just loved it, but it had I don't even know if it was, I want to say it's a nanosecond, but it was just a quarter of a second from a famous, I think it was an NWA song that was put in. Everything else was totally his own. He made the song, but there was one little piece. And the worst thing in the world was, I want to say 3 years into his channel, many tens of thousands of subscribers later, he got a copyright claim, oh, sorry, copyright strike, and multiple ones, because of the fact that he used a quarter of a second from a copyrighted song. YouTube's algorithm is getting more and more sensitive. It is getting more and more powerful. And so the number 8 thing not to do on YouTube right now is to use any copyrighted music unless you have permission, or there's some way to qualify as a fair use. So that's one thing to really watch out, because I have some creator clients who talk about the fact that, oh my gosh, I'd like to use just the second. 1 second's not going to get me in trouble, right? And I can tell you that I have clients where it does make a difference, and they've gotten copyright strikes. And if you use it in every intro for your videos, that's a lot of copyright strikes, and you're off the platform. I want to say hi to some more people here. We got Ame Aloro. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Angelico Palazzi is here. Thank you for your great advice. I'm a musician. Thank you for helping me out. Well, listen, I am happy to help. My goal on this channel is to be clear and helpful. So I'm really happy that I helped you there. Samantha's here. Thank you so much for all your videos. I don't know where my channel would be without you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Samantha. That means a lot to me. I'm happy to help. Media Raven is here. Hello, good to see you. We got EBR. Love to learn how to be better. No. Yeah, we're going to get there, because I want to make you a better YouTuber. Media Raven, why does Viacom block videos? When you say block, are you getting DMCA takedown notices? Let me know in the comments. El Jefe reviews, I appreciate the value being given in the stream. Oh, El Jefe, thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's get to it, because I want to make sure this is value packed for the people who watch it here now and maybe later on. So now we're on number 7 of the no-nos that you should not do on your YouTube channel, and that is trying to go viral with graphic or dangerous content. Now, this is particularly relevant to a lot of you younger YouTubers out there. You see pranks, or you see things going on YouTube that are, maybe graphic or maybe really provocative, and you think, my gosh, I got to do something like that in order to get views. And I got to tell you, there's a number of problems with that. One is, oftentimes you're just not being honest with yourself. And 2, sometimes you're doing something dangerous that really could hurt you. And then 3, YouTube does not like that content, and oftentimes will just block it on the upload, or will put it behind an age gate, like an 18-year-old age gate, or you just won't get the views that you think you deserve because the other people who are doing pranks or getting punched in the stomach or something, those people are getting views and subscribers for a different reason than you are. So I always say, really be careful about your content. YouTube is getting very sensitive about graphic content, provocative content, content like pranks when people are hurt or you're making fun of people and negativity, those kinds of things. That is what I consider to be my number 7 no for YouTube channels. All right, let's make sure I'm attending to the comments. Karen Severs is here. Hey, hi Ian Corzine, just in to say hi for a minute. I see you're doing great. Well, thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate you dropping by for any time you have. Number 6 on my list of YouTube no-nos is not reading or understanding your brand deal contract. And when I put brand deal in there, but frankly, it can apply to anything that has to do with your channel. Maybe you have a contract with a graphic designer to do your thumbnails, or maybe you have an animator or a video editor. Not reading your contract before you sign it is a big no-no because you really don't know how to act in that relationship. And the worst thing is if there's something that goes wrong with that contractual relationship, if you don't know what it's expected of you or what's expected of the other side, you could have a real problem, and you may have to contact a lawyer. So I think that to avoid using legal help, it's very important that you go through your contract carefully. Oftentimes, going through with a lawyer is a much better thing to do because it'll take less time, and you can probably avoid problems in the future by understanding a non-compete clause, for example. So I have a lot of creator clients that have this non-compete clause that we deal with all the time. So maybe they're a photographer and maybe they just got a deal with Sony for making a couple of videos or doing some product reviews, and they weren't really aware of the non-compete. And what that means is they locked them up for 3 or 6 months after, where they can't do competing camera reviews with Canon or Fuji or some of those different brands. And so they're really concerned because they got a good payday with Sony, but now they can't do any, content about the other camera manufacturers for 3 or 6 months. And so that money has got to last them for that period of time. I always try to advise them to get out of those non-competes. In a lot of states, those non-competes are not even legal. Usually these contracts we're seeing are in the New York area where it is legal, but most of the states it's not. So it's really important that before you enter into a contract, and I don't care what it is, if it's, like I said, with an independent contractor, or if it's potentially with a brand, being an influencer, something to that nature, you really should thoroughly review your contract. And if you don't understand the legalese that's in the contract, speak with a social media lawyer, speak with a trained business lawyer. You can certainly get on my calendar at iancorzine.com and schedule an online consult. But that is really important going forward so you don't get screwed. All right, let's also say hi to, let's see, Visual Stimulant VS has, "You are authentic, sir. Thank you for what you're doing to help us out." Well, that's very sweet. Thank you, Visual Stimulant. I appreciate that. Ivan's here. Hey, Ian, good to see you, Ivan. Hippie Island, I like the name of your channel. My channel sucks, yet somehow I have 21,000 subs. I laugh out loud. I'm sure, Hippie Island, your channel does not suck. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that many subs. Congratulations. That's awesome. Ron Mower. I wonder if it's about lawnmowers. I have been around 13 years and only have 1.33K subs. Laugh out loud. Just enjoy what you do. Yeah, at Hippie Island. I agree. That's good advice. Just try to make some helpful content out there and have fun with it. And once it becomes it's not fun, then I don't think you should do it. All right, we're going down the list, and time is going quickly, so I got to make sure I'm getting to this. Number 6 on the list of YouTube no-nos. Oh, I'm sorry, that was number 6. Sorry. Number 5 is using Google Images in your videos. A lot of us are tempted because maybe you're doing a video on a current event subject or something that we can find in Google Images. And let's be honest, what can you not find in Google Images? We want to just quickly grab a screen grab. We'll do a screenshot, or we'll just download an image that we want to use in our video, maybe for our thumbnail, that kind of thing. And we just think, who's going to care? Who's going to even see this video? So why am I going to have a problem? I have to tell you that I've had at least 5 creator clients in the past couple of years come to me. They got in trouble with those. And there are, it's funny, just like YouTube out there, you know how there's big companies like Sony or Paramount, they're always looking for copyrighted content and they claim it or they send a DMCA takedown notice. Well, there's companies out there that are on Google doing the same thing. So they're looking for YouTube videos, they're looking for Instagram or IGTV videos, they're looking for those Google images. And then what they'll do is they'll put a claim in them, and sometimes they'll put a DMCA takedown notice. So you'll get a claim on your video. So it is very tempting. I have to tell you, I have done it. There have been times early on in my YouTube journey where I would just grab a Google image because I don't want to subscribe to one of the, pay stock image apps, which by the way, they're so expensive. So I get it. Or there's something that's not on Pixabay, which is a free one. And I just say, listen, I'm going to get it off Google Images. I have to tell you that it is a no-no. It is a mistake because even if it doesn't happen for the next 6 months, down the line, once the algorithm for these companies that search for copyrighted content catches up with you, you do not want a copyright strike. You really, really don't. So again, I'm on kind of on a kick to work with my creator clients and encourage them to do original content to the best of their ability. So that if you need to have an image, a lot of times I say, hey, why don't you go on Fiverr and commission someone maybe in a different country to, you spend $5 or $10 and have them do a drawing of President Trump or someone that, is going to be part of your video. And that way you don't have these claims that are lurking. And that way you can sleep better at night, not worrying about this risk. Oh my gosh, they're going to pick up that this video that got 100,000 views that I don't want to delete has a Google image in it. So just be careful with that. I would suggest that you never use Google Images to the extent you can in your videos. And then if you need art, you either pay for it at this pay sites or just, like I said, go to Fiverr, go to Upwork or something like that and commission the image that you need. A lot of times they can do it real quick. All right, I want to say hi to Bandit Ghoul. Good to see you, Bandit Ghoul. Ivan, don't be hard on yourself. Hippie Island, if you have a lot of views and followers, someone might like your videos. I'm sure that's the case. Sure that's the case. Shin Hakari shares. Hi, Ian. Nice to see you're doing great. I've been wanting to ask you, is there any guidelines on writing subtitle caption? I mean, is there any offensive words that cannot or shouldn't be written? YouTube is very open actually with curse words. You certainly can curse on your YouTube video. It really just comes up with brand quality or brand qualification requirements. If the more you swear in your videos, the less likely you're going to be monetized. And it's just YouTube reads the audio on your videos very, very clearly. So all the words you say, and especially if you put it in captions or transcript format, they're going to pick up on it. And you can do it. You really can. There's lots of channels out there that swear all the time. It's just that they're demonetized. The video doesn't get the AdSense revenue. So it's really a creative decision by you. I know a lot of people that are super successful and they use curse words because that's a true expression of them, and maybe they rely on products or services outside of YouTube to make their money. I just don't like to curse on videos because I like to be professional. So I rarely do, if at all. And also I like to be brand safe. So that's what I do. But yeah, there's no guidelines on like, you can't use FUCK or some swear word in your captions. No, you can do it. Bandit Ghoul, I've been making some of my vids kid friendly, but only have 3 subs. All right, well, Bandit Ghoul, it's the beginning. You have some time to go. 25 Andre 25, does that count with profile pictures? Yes, I think what he's referring to is using Google Images. Yes, it does count with respect to profile pictures. Matter of fact, it even counts even more. Your profile picture, your thumbnails, those are all scanned by YouTube's AI. It's the most amazing thing. I went to a seminar 2 years back where one of the presenters showed the system that actually analyzes the photos, the images you use, not only in your videos, but on your thumbnails and for your profile picture. And that it can sense if maybe there's some nudity in the picture. It can sense the words. It can read the words that are in your thumbnail. So yes, it does count for all that. So don't use a Google image in your profile picture for sure. Um, let's see. Oh, and then Visual Stimma came up with a great suggestion. There is a search filter on Google. I remember this. And if you go to the Google search filter tools, and then labeled for reuse, you can find photographs that you can use without permission. So thank you so much. It's a great tip. Or Pexels, that's another one. We talked about Pixabay, but Pexels is another free site to get images for sure. Ability mom of 2 vlogs. Hello, Ian and chat. Oh, okay. Hello. Overtime. Yo, what's up? What's up? Let's see. Thanks for the explanation. Great. All right. Well, cool. Now we're moving on to, is it number 4? Oh, gosh, we're moving quickly here. The number 4 YouTube no-no on the legal side of your YouTube channel is making false statements in a video that can damage a person's reputation. You're going to see my video coming out next Tuesday is all about this particular topic, and that is, can you sue someone for a hurtful comment in your YouTube channel? I mean, these days it's increasingly getting common for people to be downright mean in the YouTube comments. And sometimes it gets to an extent where, especially if it's like a Karen situation, where someone could lose their job. They could lose property as a result of some false information. So that's one thing that there's not exclusion for. You can, you do have a right to free speech, but the point of it is that you also have a right to be sued. So you can't go out there making false statements, hurting someone's reputation. Now, an interesting part of YouTube terms and conditions, I made a video about this recently, is that YouTube actually allows harassment online. They have some specific requirements, and that is the person being harassed must be a leader in their field. It must not be your comments can't be in against a protected class like age discrimination, sex discrimination, race discrimination. But they do allow some banter, and they do allow criticism of people. However, that has to be tempered with the understanding that you cannot do false statements. You can't do reckless statements. You can't just say, I assume this about someone, especially if it hurts their reputation, because they can bring a lawsuit, against you. Right now, there's a Keemstar lawsuit against H3. It's a really interesting battle. We'll see, and it has to do with statements that are allegedly false. I'm thinking about making a video about it because I really like the case, and I want to talk about it more. But that's, again, that is my 4th YouTube no-no, which is you cannot make false statements that could hurt someone's reputation. All right, let's see. Hey, good to see you, Papa Manor. Good to see you. Let's see. Everything's good on the chat. Let's see. The 3rd YouTube no-no is using a DMCA takedown notice as a weapon. This is a thing that I consult with my clients all the time. They get these false copyright strikes. And I made a video about false copyright strikes. Boy, I think it was, I want to say a year ago. You can check it out on my YouTube channel if you want to learn more about this. But we're seeing more and more people doing is when they're mad at a channel, they will register a false copyright strike. They'll file a DMCA takedown notice, and it'll be disingenuous just so they can have the guy get a strike. And sometimes they do it multiple times to try to destroy the channel, actually terminate the channel. YouTube is getting much better. In the beginning, I want to say like a year and a half ago, it was really bad. People's channels were just being canceled, and like, dude, I don't even know why it's canceled, just because they were on, a list, a bad list of another YouTuber. So I want to tell you this, guys. Sometimes channels make you mad. Sometimes you don't like someone who's saying something about your channel. Don't use the YouTube copyright system as a weapon, because I will tell you this: it is the easiest way to get banned from the YouTube platform. Is if you're filing false copyright strike notices or DMCA takedown notices. And I have to say, it's also a situation where you could get yourself sued. Because it is making false. Oh, thank you so much, Visual Stimulant. That's so nice of you. $4.99. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for contributing. I will make sure and use that, put that to good use. But yes, it's the surest way to get sued in federal court by issuing false takedown notices, because you have to swear to those under oath, and so it could be false statement could get you into jail. So that's not something you want to do. And then let's see, what's our time? We got 5 minutes here. Our number 2 YouTube no-no on the legal side of your YouTube channel is not addressing a copyright strike. So there are creators out there that come to me, they'll get a copyright strike and they'll say they don't know why they got it, or they'll say, I'm scared, I don't want to do anything to my channel, I'm not going to upload videos, I'm not going to respond to the strike, I'm just going to let it sit, maybe I won't even go to YouTube school. And just to kind of go through a summary of the copyright strike system, which I've done in multiple videos you can see on my channel on YouTube. But if you get a copyright strike, it's not the end of the world. YouTube considers it a warning. The copyright strike will generally, if you don't get another one, will drop off your channel within 90 days, and it won't inhibit you to uploading videos or doing lives. That is one. There's one exception to that, and that is if you got the copyright strike on a live. At that point in time, you can't do lives for 90 days. But if you go to the YouTube school and you learn about copyright there, YouTube will generally take that copyright strike off your channel actually quicker than 90 days, depending upon how fast they respond. So it's not the end of the world, but I have to say, not being proactive on copyright strikes is the problem. If you just let that sit, you don't respond, you don't go to school, sometimes if you have a valid argument and you don't assert it, you're really hurting your channel because you are downgraded. This is something they don't say, but you are downgraded on your content. Your videos will not get as many views with a copyright strike as they did before. It's just simple as that. You know, it's all brand safety on YouTube, and so if you're getting copyright strikes, they're viewing that as not brand safe. So I will tell you that, in my opinion, is the number 2 YouTube no-no, and that is not addressing a copyright strike when you get one, and hopefully you guys never ever get one. Visual stimulant VS says it's not much out of a job, just a tiny time. Visual stimulant, that is so kind of you. I really, really appreciate that, and I'm so sorry that you're not employed right now. I'm hoping that this era will change so that we can all get our jobs back and you know, have happy lives. And it means so much to me that you did a little, you know, token donation there. I absolutely appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you. We're moving on to the number 1 YouTube no-no on the legal side of your YouTube channel, and that is not understanding and failing to understand the legal doctrine of fair use. You know, one of the things, if you're going to do any kind of channel and where you're going to recycle content, you're going to use someone else's content, you're going to react, you're going to comment, you're going to critique, you're going to parody, then you have to understand fair use law. And you probably have seen some of my videos on my channel about fair use, doing my best to make it as clear as possible. But I will tell you that it is a muddy area of the law, and that stems from the fact that there are 2 levels of law, or I should say rules for fair use. That is YouTube's own rules, and that is oftentimes your own country's fair use rules or fair dealing rules. So most of my creator clients are in the United States, so we're looking at fair use rules that are applicable in federal law. But again, the long and short of it is this. You know, you can't use someone else's artistic creations without their permission. That's the fundamental rule. You just have to get permission. And it makes sense, right? I mean, do you want someone taking your video, something you spent many hours or maybe days making, without your knowledge and making money off it? No. Okay. So you can't use someone else's artistic creations without their permission. You can't copy it. You can't even parody it without their permission, unless you can show that there's an exception to that rule. And I said you can't even parody it. Parody is an exception to that rule if it's a good parody, if it's an actual qualification as a parody, making fun of that particular you know, piece of art. So generally, those exceptions are if you're commenting on, you're critiquing, you're doing teaching of that using that copyrighted content, you're doing news reporting, or you're doing parody or satire of that particular artistic work. So if you can qualify within that area, then that generally qualifies as a fair use. But I will tell you that it's not without risk. You just, it's not you qualify or you don't. It's the chances of you not being sued for copyright infringement or not getting a copyright strike go down, but they don't go away entirely. So that's why it's really important, and that's why I say it's the number 1 problem with YouTubers I see out there who use copyrighted content in their videos is they don't understand the fair use doctrine. So let's break it down real quickly. How do you use these exceptions to be able to qualify for fair use? You have to use as little as possible of someone else's material. So if we're talking about videos or audio on YouTube, you have to use only that portion that supports your point, that is being made fun of, that teaches beat making or something. So I always recommend, as a rule of thumb, it is not at all a bright line rule, that 2 to 5 seconds of audio or copyrighted video is really where you should be sitting. You know, I would say max 10 seconds. If you go much higher than that, then your risk goes way up for getting a copyright strike. And then at the same time is you need to use these exceptions on either side of that copyrighted clip, whether it be audio or video. So if it's commentary, I always advise comment before. What you're going to see is a guy using a beat machine making a Drake beat. Here's Drake's beat. Oh, do you like the sound of that bass drum? And then you keep through. You use that copyrighted content not for the original purpose, which was to enjoy Drake's music, but was to be able to teach beat making. And you talk before, you talk after. Sometimes it's even, important to talk during, or sometimes if you're using a video, you might even use text in that video, but do a text overlay and point out some sort of significant portion of that video that you're analyzing. You're transforming this art and you're making your own, and you're not using it for the original purpose that that art was created for. That's when you understand fair use. That is qualifying fair use, not only under YouTube, but under many countries' laws. I want to make sure that I'm responding to some comments before, because I'm over my time here. Let's see here. Overtime. Can't you put the link to the song in the description and you won't get no. Unfortunately, just citing to copyrighted music does not get you out of a copyright strike. No, you have to do fair use or get permission. Okay. Thanks, Wild Style Blogs. Thanks for joining us. Let's see, Cerulean Republic, here to listen to some great advice at the end of a long day. Well, thank you, Cerulean Republic. I know it probably has been a long day. I know, especially during this time, everyone is just out of energy. So I just appreciate you spending what little time you have with us. It means a lot to me. Exploring Israel. Last year, YouTube has asked for all channels is stop cursing. Kids are also watching our channels. Kids, yeah, I agree. I mean, that's something you should consider. If you're doing a YouTube channel and you have cursing, there could be kids watching, and that may not be good for you. Um, let's see, Ujapivi. I never know how to pronounce that. I apologize. I used a mate song years ago on a video. A different artist who also recorded the song 7 years later made a claim in my video. I argued the case so my friend would get paid, not him. Didn't work. Ugh, I know. I see that more and more. It used to be that if you got a credible argument for fair use, you could get out of these claims, but I'm seeing now the companies are just denying the claims right out. They're just claiming all the revenue from your video. Andrea's here. Ian, what are your views on people who claim to be a lawyer who works for a record company that makes a copyright claim on YouTube? Well, my views is if they're not a lawyer, they shouldn't be representing themselves as a lawyer. So that doesn't make sense at all. Not YouTuber TV. I use videos which are under Creative Commons license to make new video compilation documentaries, and my channel has been demonetized and shadow banned. Oh, I am so absolute sorry. That shouldn't be. The one thing I will tell you, and I said it in my video on my Ian Corzine YouTube channel, is that Creative Commons is a risky area too. Some people think, oh, you just do a search on YouTube for Creative Commons content, and I'll just package it, repackage it, edit it, and it's fine. That's only true if it is truly licensed Creative Commons content. We saw that. I did a video about Linkin Park. The President Trump used a Linkin Park song in one of his campaign videos. Now, it was a song recorded by a cover artist on YouTube. It wasn't actually the original Linkin Park song, but they got a claim and they got the campaign video taken down. So yeah, it may say Creative Commons sanctioned in the YouTube video because maybe it's a cover of a famous song, but that doesn't mean that they own the synchronization or mechanical license rights to that song. So, I love to give you bright line rules, but a lot of times on YouTube, there aren't any, especially when it comes to Creative Commons. You got to do your research. Whenever I use Creative Commons content, I do a Google search and try to find the original artist or the person from which this video or audio clip comes from, so that I feel, reasonably confident that if I use this Creative Commons video in my video, that I'm not going to have a problem. So that's really, really important. Content 4G, thank you for the great info. Thank you for joining us. David Alt is here. What about YouTube reactions? What do those YouTubers do? Yeah, we did our last video. Unfortunately, it's not there now, but we did a whole YouTube live on reaction videos. I went through how to do one successfully. Yeah, again, the quick advice is treat it like it is commentary fair use and use only as small clips as possible if you're reacting to them, and then do the reactions in an auditory fashion. Use words, use text on the screen to be able to transform whatever you're reviewing into your own art, because you're certainly entitled. the law, and it's been from the history of humankind. There have been reviews of other people's art. I mean, it's absolutely, a fundamental right. So it does exist. You just have to do it the right way. And I will tell you that the best way to do it is to go to my YouTube channel and look at the videos. I give you step-by-step directions on all the different exceptions to fair use. And the worst case, if you really needed to talk to me, you can go to my website, iancorzine.com, and you can schedule an online consult, get on my calendar, and I can just take you through each video, each video on your channel. We can go through and say, hey, does this qualify? Is there a problem here? We can go through it like that. So that's easy. Crazy Chicken Man, good to see you. I love that. It's cute. It's very cute. Tornado, Mimi, Cyclone, I was here. Well, thank you, Tornado. God, Country, and Cooking. Hey, Natuber is here. I make videos about the flat earth and awakening videos. Well, that's cool. It sounds interesting. If you guys, people want to tune into that, check it out. His channel is right here, Natuber TV. I have 1 minute left. Actually, I don't have 1 minute left, but I'm going to do one more question. Do you keep all money earned before you get a copyright claim? That's a really interesting thing. Do you keep all money? No, you lose the money. If there's a claim, you lose the money. Generally, the claim comes quicker than YouTube pays, so it's not really an issue. If you win the copyright claim, YouTube actually holds the money in a escrow account and will return it to you. So let's just say you had this awesome video, got 1 million views, and you got a claim on it, and you were set to make, I'm just making it up, $2,000 or $3,000. Then YouTube will actually hold that money if you contest the claim. And if you win the claim, which oftentimes I always say contest the claim, especially if you have grounds for fair use, you will get that money all back, even if it takes a month for it to go through the process. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I have to go. It's been over 30 minutes. I'm just excited for all of you to go out there and kill it. And I hope you enjoyed, got some value out of our 10 no-nos for your YouTube channel. I do not want you to be one of the worst YouTubers ever. And so that's why I wanted to make this video and spend some time with you going through those rules. I will see you all next week at Friday at 3 p.m.